What's up, Bikes Online family? Today, we're jumping into one of the most controversial and important topics in all of mountain biking, brakes. More specifically, how two of the biggest players in the game, SRAM and Shimano, compare when it comes to slowing your bike down. Whether you're new to the sport or a seasoned rider, the choice between these two giants can make a huge difference in your riding experience. So let's kick things off with a quick overview of each brand. Now, SRAM and Shimano are two of the major manufacturers when it comes to mountain bike components, and especially brakes. Shimano's brakes are known for their reliability and near-instant engagement. If you prefer a brake with a more predictable bite point, Shimano might be your go-to. Riders often describe them as having a more on-off characteristic, largely due to their servo wave technology. This design allows for a faster brake pad engagement at the start of the lever pull, followed by a smoother, more controlled feeling as you continue to squeeze. The initial bite is strong, which is great for those who like a powerful response, especially in steep and technical terrain. However, this can make modulation a bit tricky if you're used to SRAM's more gradual engagement. Speaking of SRAM, their brakes are known for their modulation and control. This is great for riders who prefer finessing their brakes for more technical trails and maneuvers, but riders who are used to Shimano may find that they feel underpowered, especially early in the lever pull. The larger contact point adjustment on SRAM levers also allows riders to fine-tune the bite point, which is something many appreciate, especially when customizing their setup. Another important factor to consider when choosing what brakes to run is maintenance. Because let's face it, nobody likes the feel of a spongy, unbled brake. Now, Shimano brakes use mineral oil, which is non-corrosive and less harsh on your bike's components. This makes the bleeding process a bit more forgiving. Most of SRAM's brakes, on the other hand, use DOT fluid, which is more heat resistant but can be corrosive if not handled properly. Bleeding SRAM brakes can be a bit more challenging, but with their bleeding edge technology, it's becoming easier compared to older models. Still, Shimano generally takes the win in this category for being simpler and more user-friendly when it comes to maintenance. Now, let's break it down by the type of riding you're interested in. Both SRAM and Shimano offer a ton of different brake models designed for specific disciplines, from cross-country to downhill riding. The way each brand classifies these brakes, however, is a little different. SRAM breaks things up first and foremost by riding style, and then differentiates the price point from there. Shimano is the opposite, starting with price, and then, for each given tier, offers various models depending on riding style. So let's start with SRAM. For cross-country and trail riders, SRAM's Level series uses a 2-piston caliper and is designed with weight and even-keeled performance in mind. The Level is available at 6 different trim levels, topping out at the Level Ultimate, which features carbon levers and other exotic materials for high-caliber XC racing. If you're into all-mountain or enduro riding, SRAM offers the G2 series. These bump braking power up a notch, or 3, with a larger fluid reservoir in the lever and a 4-piston caliper. There are 5 different G2 series brakes, some of which actually pair a G2 lever with SRAM's downhill caliper, the Code. Speaking of the Code, for downhill riders, SRAM's Code series is designed for maximum stopping power, which is why you'll find them spec'd on some of our fastest bikes, like the Polygon Colossus N9. The Codes do this once again by bumping up the lever reservoir size, but also increasing the size of the pistons in the caliper and the surface area of the pads themselves. There are 4 tiers of Code brakes, as well as the DB8, which is essentially a budget-oriented Code. Interestingly, the DB8 is one of just 2 SRAM brakes that uses mineral oil. The only other brake in SRAM's lineup that uses mineral oil is the massive Maven. This behemoth of a brake uses larger calipers, pads, and levers than the Code, and unsurprisingly are the most powerful brakes in SRAM's lineup. There are 4 levels of the Maven brake, but sadly, only the top-of-the-line model is available in the rad anodized red color you've been looking at. Now that we've covered SRAM's lineup, it's time to dive into Shimano. Like I mentioned earlier, Shimano categorizes their brakes based on price, not use case, so we'll sort them in that order for this video. Up first are the Shimano MT200, which, despite being an entry-level product, provides impressive power and reliability, perfect for beginner riders. That said, their lack of adjustment and 4-piston caliper options mean that most serious riders will likely want to check out the next line up. MT400, which you'll find on a variety of Bikes Online bikes. The MT400 range gets an upgrade to both the lever and the caliper, which increases braking power and damage resistance, both of which are key traits for a mountain bike brake. This is also the first place where we see Shimano offer both a 2- and 4-piston caliper design, with the 2-piston brakes catering towards XC and light trail riding, and the 4-piston calipers being preferred for more aggressive, higher speed trails. Shimano represents this difference with either a 10 or 20 after the first number. So in other words, the MT410 brakes are the dual piston and the MT420s are the 4-piston. The same nomenclature is used as we move up Shimano's range of brakes. The M610 and 620 are commonly referred to as Deore brakes. 710 and 720 are SLX, 810 and 820 are XT, and finally 910 and 920 are XTR. As you might imagine, moving from one tier to the next adds increased power and adjustability while reducing weight. Some notable highlights through the range include the addition of tool-free reach adjustment at the SLX level and a fancy one-piece monobody caliper for XTR, which is said to increase braking power and reduce stroke and lag time. Speaking of XTR, that's exactly what you'll find on the superior Team XF29 Issue R. I've been fortunate enough to spend some time on this race-proven XC bike lately, and let me tell you, it's something else. Lastly, Shimano offers in their lineup 2 different downhill and enduro-specific brakes, the Saint and the Z. They also feature shorter brake levers designed for one-finger braking. So, which brake and brand is better? Well, that's going to come down to your riding style and really what you value most in your braking components. SRAM is all about that smooth, controlled modulation, while Shimano gives you raw power and arguably easier maintenance. Both are excellent choices, and the best way to decide is to try them out for yourself. But before you get out there and do that, make sure you drop a comment below letting us know what type of brakes you prefer and why. And while you're down there, consider supporting Bikes Online and like and subscribe to our channel where I'll be hanging out. After you've done that, get out there, get your bike, and get ripping.